right, so this is a video about the BTK killer. I don't know anything about this dude, but this is apparently the killer that police could never catch. So let's get right into it, dog.
This case takes place in the United States and spans over 3 decades. Between 1974 and 1991, a seemingly ordinary man terrorized the city of Wichita, Kansas. He blended perfectly into suburban life, a husband, a father, a church council president. But behind that mask of normality hid one of the most sadistic serial killers in American history, Dennis Rader, the man who called himself BTK, bind, torture, kill.
That's what it means? Oh, nah.
Dennis Lynn Rader was born on March 9th, 1945, in Pittsburgh, Kansas. He was the oldest of 4 boys. His father worked long hours as a lineman, and his mother juggled raising the children mostly on her own. As a child, Dennis appeared quiet, polite, and obedient. But even in his early years, something sinister was growing inside him. He began killing small animals.
Dude, I swear, if it ain't with serial killers starting with small animals, dude, they literally, every story you hear about a serial killer, dude, they start with small animals and then they get bigger, dude. They start getting big brain. They're like, dude, I can kill something bigger than a squirrel, brother. And then they move on to cats. And then, yeah.
Not out of rage, but curiosity. He would later admit that he felt power when he tied things up, when he controlled life and death. At home, Dennis hid his dark impulses behind an ordinary facade. He attended church, did well in school, and kept his disturbing fantasies secret. He dreamed of capturing women, binding them, and controlling them completely. He later said, "I was just like everyone else, except I had this thing inside me that wanted out." After high school, Rader joined the U.S. Air Force. He served for several years, stationed...
Oh my God, he's a veteran. What?
...overseas, and was honorably discharged in 1970.
Honorably?
When he returned to Kansas, he got married, earned a degree in criminal justice, and started working as a compliance officer. A job where he enforced local codes and even issued citations to his neighbors. In public, he was calm and meticulous, but at night he was driven by what he called...
This is low-key almost on some Dexter type shit. Am I right or what?
Factor X, an uncontrollable urge to hunt, to stalk, to bind. By 1974, those urges could no longer be contained.
Oh, brother.
On January 15th, 1974, Dennis Rader and his family were starting their day like normal. Just a few miles away, another family, the Oteros, were also starting their day. Joseph Otero, a former Air Force sergeant, his wife Julie, and their 2 young children, Joseph Jr. and Josephine, were preparing for school. That morning, Dennis Rader broke into their home. He waited for them to return from errands, armed with a gun and nylon ropes.
Why? I think he has a racist motive. All I'm saying is they're brown people, dog. That's all I gotta say. I don't know. I don't know, dog. I don't know.
When the family entered, he confronted them calmly, pretending to be a thief. But what followed was far worse. He tied them up one by one, methodically.
Oh, nah.
He told police later that he had to control them. When he was finished, all 4 members of the Otero family were dead, strangled and bound. Before leaving, he took souvenirs, a watch, a radio, and his first photographs. Then he walked away, quietly, unseen, unnoticed. In the months following the Otero murders, Wichita police were baffled. There was no clear motive, no suspect, no leads. But Rader...
Dog, he was just doing it for the game. What?
...didn't want to be forgotten. A few months later, a local newspaper received a letter. Inside, a typed confession described the murders in chilling detail.
So now this nigga's trying to be like the Zodiac or something, dude. Dude, it's what is it with serial killers? They want to be found in a way. They trying to make a game out of it, like some twisted weird shit. I don't know, dude.
Things only the killer could know. The writer ended with 3 words that would define him forever. Bind them, torture them, kill them. He signed it, BTK. From that moment, Wichita had a name to pursue.
What the hell?
After the Otero murders, Rader disappeared into normal life.
Dog, looking at this man, if this dude were to square up on you, dog, you're like, dude, I will knock this old ass nigga out. I guarantee it, dude. Let him try to come at me. But dude, look at him. He don't look like no cold-blooded killer, dog, but he is. That's crazy work.
He attended church every Sunday, became a Cub Scout leader, and volunteered in his community. But his fantasy...
Nigga, what? What?
Never stopped. He began watching women in his neighborhood, following them, photographing them, breaking into their homes to study their routines. He called these preparations his projects. In April 1974, he selected his next target, Catherine Bright, a 21-year-old college student. He followed her for weeks before breaking into her home. When Catherine arrived with her brother, Rader was surprised. He shot the brother twice and turned on Catherine, binding her and stabbing her repeatedly until she died. After this...
Did this nigga have a female mask on? Look, they have photos of him being arrested. How did they not? They had to have caught him, dude.
Murder, BTK went silent for 3 years. But silence never meant peace. It meant planning. By 1977, Rader resurfaced. He murdered Shirley Vian, a 24-year-old mother of 3, and Nancy Fox, a 25-year-old secretary. After each killing, he wrote letters to the police, the newspapers, even to local TV stations.
Dude, this man thought he was light Yagami, dude. I'm telling you, he thought he was light, dude. He thought he was above the law, dude. He thought he was playing God, brother. He said, it's my perfect victory.
He mocked investigators, describing his murders in cold, methodical language. He demanded recognition, claiming that he deserved a name, like Son of Sam or Jack the Ripper. He wanted fame, he wanted to be known, and he wanted control over the narrative. He even mailed a poem titled, "Oh Death to Nancy," taunting the memory of one of his victims. Detectives realized they weren't dealing with an impulsive killer, but with someone calculating, narcissistic, and obsessed with power. Throughout all of this, Dennis Rader was living an astonishing double life. He was a family man,
for real,
a husband, a father of 2, a respected member of his church. In 1977, he was even elected president of the church council. He gave sermons about morality while secretly binding.
Dog, the devil in disguise. Holy dude. And the crazy thing is they would have never known. Dude, that's crazy to think, dude. You really just don't know somebody, dog. Like, deep down, you really don't, dude. They tell you everything on a surface level. Even if it seems deep, dude, it's never the deepest. That's crazy, dude.
Women to death. He led scout camping trips and then spent nights in his car watching homes, waiting for his next victim to be alone. For years, he fooled everyone. He was invisible because he looked ordinary. In January 1991, Rader struck for the last time. His victim was Dolores Davis, a 62-year-old woman who lived just a few miles.
You notice he's only going after women, dude. Like, he's, in a way, he's like, he's finding the easy way out, dude. You're going for older women that they can't protect themselves. Maybe one of the chick was 21. But okay, she's still, dude. Like, there happens to be he ain't going after dudes. You know what I mean? He ain't going after dudes, dude.
From his home. He killed her in the same manner as all the others, binding, torturing, and strangling her, before hiding her body beneath a bridge. Then, BTK vanished. For over a decade, there were no new letters, no murders, no clues. Many assumed he had died, moved away,
10 years
or simply
off.
stopped. But BTK was still there, living quietly in Wichita, attending church, enforcing city codes and watching the headlines fade away. In
Oh, nah.
2004, 25 years after his last known killing, Wichita police received something they never expected: a package. Inside was a letter, typed, taunting, signed once again, BTK. He was back. He sent drawings, photos, even a doll tied up to resemble one of his victims. Investigators realized this wasn't a copycat. It was him. But this time, BT.
Dude, that would throw somebody off, dude. Taking 10 years off just to come back like, dude, I still don't got the respect I need. Huh?
K made a mistake. In one of his last messages, Rader asked investigators a strange question. Could a floppy disk be traced back to its sender? The police, playing along, told him no. It was a lie. Days later, a purple floppy disk arrived at a local TV station.
He is a dummy. I don't care how much he thought he was playing. Like, dude, he thought he was planning everything out. He's meticulous, right? Dog. Number one, you think the police is going to tell you the truth, brother? After killing everybody, dog, you think they're going to tell you the truth? Uh-huh.
Addressed from BTK himself. When forensic technicians examined the disk, they discovered hidden data inside, metadata that revealed where it had last been used.
Oh my God.
The file pointed to Christ Lutheran Church, and one username stood out: Dennis. A quick search led detectives to Dennis Rader, the president of that very church council, a married father of two, living quietly
no
in
way.
Park City, Kansas. To confirm their suspicions, police secretly obtained a DNA sample from a tissue his daughter had discarded at her university. The genetic profile matched semen recovered from multiple BTK crime scenes.
This nigga was nutting at the crime scene too. And we know what he was doing, but still, he left nut at the crime scene. And they couldn't trace it then? Why couldn't they just trace the nut? Was he not, like, okay, maybe he wasn't in the system already, but dog, like, what? And then they took, dude, then they followed his daughter and took a tissue from her. Crazy work. His daughter low-key snitched on him and didn't even know. That's crazy work.
After 30 years of silence, the Phantom finally had a name and a face. When police arrested Rader on February 25th, 2005, he calmly asked, "Why now?" At the station, he confessed in extraordinary detail. He described each murder step by step: his stalking, his preparation, his rituals. He explained how he kept trophies, photographs, and sketches of his victims. He spoke not with guilt, but pride. In his own words, he was a monster with two sides. He said, "I lived a normal life, but I also had this dark shadow life." In court, Rader pleaded guilty to 10 counts of first-degree murder.
Oh, nah.
He showed little emotion as he described what he'd done. He was sentenced to 10 consecutive life terms,
10 consecutive life terms, dude.
75 years without the possibility of parole. He is currently serving his sentence at the El Dorado Correctional Facility in Kansas. Even behind bars, he remains disturbingly composed, writing letters, giving interviews, and reflecting on what he calls his projects. For 30 years, Dennis Rader managed to hide his darkness behind a mask of normality.
There's no way he's
He
still
was the
alive,
neighbor next
right?
door, the man who waved in church, the one who came to fix your mailbox. He was proof that evil
He's the one who knocks.
can live quietly, disguised as ordinary.
Dude, he
When
literally
asked
looks
if
like
he
kind of
ever
like
felt
Walter White.
remorse, he simply replied, "I guess I have a bad side. I just compartmentalized it." Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, remains one of the most chilling examples of how normal a monster can look.
Low key, he is the most average looking old ass dude ever. You would never think he'd be capable of any of that shit. That is crazy work, dude. the more you know.